Hey guys, Scott Martin here, a little short cast. We're at Kentucky Lake. We've been here all week fishing the FLW Tour event, and I want to take you guys out on what I consider the best tournament lake in the country, meaning you can do a lot of different things. You can fish south in the grass, you can fish up on the ledges, you can fish shallow in the bushes, or deep out on the ledges. So follow us along today. I'm going to show you a quick way of how to find and locate fish on Kentucky Lake. Follow me along, guys. You know, first thing is first. When you get out here and you're going to fish wide on ledges, you need to have the right tools. You know, it's not spinner baits and top waters and shallow running crankbaits. It's deep stuff. Out here on these ledges, I like to fish with, number one, let's talk about our crankbait. Big deep diving crankbait. You know, any deep diving crankbait, as long as it'll get down, you know, to 16 to 20 foot deep. You know, like a river to sea high depth 88 is a great choice. This little deep diver here is another good one. Shad colored patterns, a little chartreuse, a little green. They love that little brightness in that shad color. The other thing is the equipment. You want to have the right kind of rod. You want to have a long rod for crankbait. And this is an Okuma EVX 7'6" crankbait rod. Very soft tip, but a lot of backbone. Okay, that's very important. Got that matched up with a 6-3-1 Okuma Helios. What that allows me to do is allows me to make long casts. These things cast really great. 10-pound line, by the way, fluorocarbon. Make long casts and reel this bait in pretty quick. Okay, that's my cranking setup. Second thing when you're out wide is you need a good worm. 10-inch worm, 12-inch worm is great. I put a little bead on there, something I do here at Kentucky Lake, gives it a little extra noise. 15-pound fluorocarbon, 7.5 foot Helios rod, heavy action. Again, another Helios reel, high speed. Trocar hook, very important. These hooks penetrate much easier than any other hook I've ever used. I'm telling you, it's an amazing hook for setting the hook. It drives that point right through them every time. This is a color that I actually enjoy fishing. It's a bruiser called Okeechobee Craw. It's a great color for here on the Tennessee River. So that is my worm rod. Quickly, spoon. Everybody's heard of the spoon. You want to rig this up on 17-pound fluorocarbon. Big giant spoon. This thing's like 5.5 inches long. 7.5 foot heavy action rod. Cast it out there. And then last but not least, one of my favorite is a jig. Just standard jig here. This is a river to sea football jig. I put a different skirt on there. Matched it up with a Crazy Craw, Bruiser Crazy Craw. Has a lot of action in the water. Stroking that around on the bottom, hopping it, dragging it, doing lots of cool things. 15-pound fluorocarbon, 7-foot heavy action rod again. So those are your choices when you get on ledges. Now let me show you how to look for the ledges on your map. Then we're going to go show you how to catch some fish. One of the great features about the Garmin sonar is the ability to not show too much clutter. As I idle around, look at, oh man, look at this spot. It shows the individual fish right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my marker out. I'm going to throw my marker right here. I don't want to throw the marker right on the fish. I'm going to circle the boat around. We're going to get in position and hopefully catch some of these fish. But what's important, again with the Garmin, is it doesn't have a lot of clutter in there. I've been around other units out there that show a lot of marks. Some are there, some are not. It's very confusing. The Garmin shows a clean screen until you get around fish or bait or stump, and then it shows it like right there. But this is a good spot. Let's catch some fish. The crankbait is a great lure to try to ignite the school. And what I'll do is I'll make a few more casts with this crankbait and find that school. And once I catch one or two fish, a lot of times I'll pick up the jig or pick up a spoon or pick up the big worm and throw it in there. A lot of times the biggest fish in the bunch will bite. Oh, get it, get it. There he is. There he is. Good one, too. Not that big. That's where they are. And see, I'm looking at my marker. I'm looking at my marker right now, and I know that those fish now are about 25 feet to the left of my marker. Now, throw back out there. See if I can get Oh, there he is. There he is. See, these are the little ones. So I know that's where they are. I could feel the crankbait actually bouncing into them. Now, what I'll do a lot of times in practice or in a tournament, now that I know that that's where the school is, I'll take a big jig, or a big worm, like this bruiser worm. That's hard to beat right there. Let me show you how I have this rigged up again. With this worm, I have a tungsten white, little bead, and a trocar straight shank, real important, and a 10-inch bruiser ribbon tail worm, Okeechobee craw. Again, it's such a great Tennessee little color. What you want to do is you want to work that worm real slow on the bottom and kind of shake it around a little bit. Let that bead give off some noise. Real important. Again, a lot of times either the jig or a spoon or this big worm will get, there's one right there. Let's see if he's any bigger. Oh, he feels bigger. He feels much bigger. Oh yeah, nice one, nice one. Look at this one. Oh yeah, hey, that plan worked. Look at that fish. Look at that one. That's how we do it, boys. Now, isn't that cool? Look at that post-spawn fish. Look how beat up that fish is. His tail's real red. You can tell that fish just came off the bed during the last full moon and has gotten out here on these bars. So again, that's what you do. If you're at Kentucky Lake or your home waters, these fish get offshore, try that simple approach. Again, depth finder, get a good graph, locate them, get a marker, throw it out, locate the school, the exact position of the school with the crankbait, then you can maybe even upgrade with a big 10-inch worm. So that's how we fish deep. Now, let's go play around in the grass. I'll show you a few tricks on that too. All right. Well, there's a couple other things to do here on Kentucky Lake that's kind of come on strong the last year. Down here on the southern end of the lake, there's some hydrilla and milfoil up on the river bars. And how I find this stuff here, right now the grass is not all the way to the surface, so again, a good pair of polarized glasses is very important. I can get out here on these flats, like we just pulled up off the river channel, we're in about 5 foot of water. I'm looking out here, I see all these dark spots. And there's some pieces of grass that are actually all the way to the surface. Now, what lures do I like to throw in grass? It's almost matted to the surface. I like to throw moving baits, such as a topwater lure or even a buzz bait. Now, I'm going to rig these up on braided line. I like braid anytime I'm in the grass. I like a heavy action rod, long rod, and braided line. I've got these matched up on, obviously, an Okuma. This is a Serrano reel right here. This is a Komodo reel with a Helios rod, 7.5 foot heavy for that buzz bait. It's really good. Now, let me show you my new favorite toy. We're going to see if we can't get lucky and catch a good one on this thing. The River to Sea Rover. It's my little signature series bait I've been working with River to Sea on. It's got a lot of great features, catches a lot of fish. I really thought this week at the FLW tournament I was going to win the tournament on this bait. But let's see if we can't catch a couple big ones. It's perfect conditions. Very light wind, overcast, and submerged vegetation. What does that spell? Topwater lures. River to Sea Rovers. Let's get after it. Let's see if we can catch a nice one. There he is. Get him up, get him up. That's a good one right there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get all bogged up in that grass. Just keep them in the grass like that. Look at that fish. That's what we came out here. Nice. Look at that Kentucky Lake bass. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. Just get in these grass beds. Whether you're at Kentucky Lake, Okeechobee, or a backyard pond. Get out there. If there's submerged vegetation, if there's some fish feeding on bait, get to your local tackle shop, get you a River to Sea Rover and you'll have some fun. Catch some nice bass like that. That's awesome. Cool.